Hello everyone. Today we're going to explore Python authentication and how to make your test setup handle multiple users smoothly. To kick things off, I'll record a login test. This will give us a solid starting point for building our authentication setup. We'll be using PyTest as our Python test framework. Our test target is github.com. It's a great real-world site for showing authentication setup. Just type in your credentials, and then we'll need to add an assertion to confirm that the login was successful. I'm going with this dashboard text to check. It's a nice clear sign we're in. And our login test is good to go. Let's grab that script and drop it into our code editor. Here's the generated script. I've swapped out the password for a variable I'm pulling from another file just to keep it hidden. Same for the username, though it's not a secret. Now the goal is to strip the test down so it only checks if the user is logged in, just 2 lines of code. So I'll copy this test. We're going to move the login process to a different place. Since we're working with PyTest, the perfect place to set up our login is this file. It configures the tests. Now we need to make some adjustments to turn this test into a setup script. Here's a key step. We need a file to store the browser state after logging in. It holds the cookies and local storage, and the file will be loaded before the test kicks off, giving us a fresh logged-in browser. Important reminder, we need to add the authentication folder to our git-ignore file. We definitely don't want to accidentally push sensitive information to our version control. Also, I'll create the folder now. Next, we'll create a PyTest fixture to handle the login. It needs scope equals session and auto use equals true. That way, this fixture runs once before the whole test suite and automatically applies to all tests. In our setup, we need the browser object, so we can work with the context. With the browser, we'll spin up a new page and perform the login steps. Alright, after we've confirmed that the login was successful, we're going to save the session state to our auth file. Finally, we'll close the page. Now comes yield. This hands control over to the test, letting it run the test script. After yield, we can run any cleanup code, like wiping that auth file so no one's snooping on sensitive stuff. At this point, you might be thinking, great, we have login before the test run. Technically, yes, it works, but there's a catch. All your tests would start with a local storage state from a previous test. That's not the dream setup. Best practices in test automation tell us that each test should be completely isolated. This means every test should start with a fresh login state. So before each test, we need to load that authentication file into the browser. Let's set that up now. We'll use the browser object to create a new context, passing in the storage state file. That automatically logs in the browser without needing to go through the login steps again. Then we create the page object, which will yield or return to the test script that calls this fixture. After the test finishes and control returns to the fixture, we'll close the context. Now let's grab the name of this fixture and update our test to use it. We don't need the default page anymore. Instead, we'll pass in the user page from the fixture. Then we'll replace the test steps to use the user page. This fixture caches the page, so it shouldn't rerun at every step. Alright, let's fire up the test and see if I nailed the setup. The test passed. Let's confirm with a failing assertion, changing it to wrong dashboard. That failed as expected. Perfect. Now let's take things up a notch and add a second user. First, we need to duplicate the line that defines the authentication file. Then, we'll duplicate the setup fixture that handles the login process. And the last thing to duplicate is the fixture that loads the authentication file. With the setup locked in, I'll clone our test that checks if everything's running smooth. Tests passed again. If you were paying close attention, you'd notice the login fired off twice with 2 different users. Now let's talk about tracing when using multiple users. The tracing parameter should generate a test results folder and store traces there. But it doesn't. If we take a look at the Playwright documentation, we can figure out why. Turns out, CLI arguments only hook into the default browser, context, and page fixtures. If we create a context manually using new context function, those arguments aren't applied. Tracing works per context, so with 2 contexts, we need to trace them separately. Let's fix that. We'll kick off tracing right after creating the context. And after yield, we need to stop tracing and specify a file name to save the trace to. I'll include request node name in the file name. It's the test name, so we can easily tell them apart. Now, let's duplicate the setup for the second user. Time for another test run to check if this works. And there they are. Both traces are in their own files with nicely descriptive file names. This is the trace viewer. You'll notice there are no login steps because we're using browser state. Now it's time for another level up. Let's create a test that uses both users within a single test. Just make a new test, throw in both setups as parameters, and use them in your script. For example, if you have a regular user and an admin user, you might want to test if changes made by the admin user are visible in the regular user's view. Let's run this test and see what happens. The test passed. But hold on, only 1 trace file was generated. We should have 2 since we used 2 users. My guess is that the second trace overwrote the first one. We can fix this by adding a timestamp to the trace file names. Let's rerun it and hope for the best. And there we go, 2 new trace files with the same test name but different timestamps. And just a quick tip, if you ever need a non-logged in user in your tests, you can simply use the clear cookies method of the context class. That brings us to the end of our tutorial. If you found this helpful, please share it with your fellow coders. Thanks for watching.